welcome you into Kitty Winter McGee Arena tonight. I'm joined by former Pioneer gymnast Daisy Bartholomew. So excited to have her here with us tonight. How are you doing today, Daisy?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Tonight, Texas Women's University hosts Arizona State, Florida, and Fisk. Sun Devils just came to Denton last week. Actually, we just welcomed Arizona State in the house tonight. Placed third in our quad meet against Oregon State and Kent State. Also have big time name Florida in the house tonight, coming off of a big win against Georgia, totaling score 197.575. That was a big meet for them as they are both nationally ranked teams in the top 10. Fisk University is also here with us competing in this quad event. They are new to the gymnastics team, started their program in 2023. Allie Berkeley's floor routine already has by far been a favorite this year. Fisk is the only HBCU team with a gymnastics program. Daisy, overall, just when you look at the progress TWU has made this year, what's impressed you the most?
They've definitely been consistent from the very beginning, and so they haven't had many meets where they just completely fall and go super high the next one. They've been really consistent.
Yeah, and kind of going back to Florida for a little bit. Florida always travels really big. They have a lot of friends and families that will always take that trip for them, and we're seeing that here tonight. Honestly, both sides of the bleachers are filled tonight on Friday, so always great to see for women's sports. This year, 5 out of the 13 gymnasts for the senior national team are Gators, including Sky Bailey from Frisco, Texas, about an hour away from where we are in Denton. And she also has 3 world championship appearances. And even if you just look at her first year, her freshman year as a Gator, hit the ground running, hit for a 9.925 in the NCAA regional finals. So a really, really big get for the Gator squad. Kind of going back to you, Daisy, when you look at TWU and really just the freshmen that they have from last year. Now they're in their sophomore year. Kylie Gambari is one of them. How would you say that this team really nourishes young talent once they get here?
Yeah, well, from the very beginning, the whole team dynamic is very close, and there's not a hierarchy of if you're a senior or junior, you're going to be competing more or your voice is heard more. It's really emphasized that every single person on this team plays an important role, whether you are in lineups or not.
Tonight we'll have 4 rotations. Starting us off, we will have Texas Women's University on vault. Florida will be on bars, Arizona State on beam, and Fisk will get the party started on the floor. As we mentioned this year, Allie Berkeley from Fisk, her floor routine has really been a big hit for a lot of people, including Zyla Coleman as well. Her floor routine is inspired by the motion picture centers that took home a lot of awards during this year's award season. So super excited to see how they overlap gymnastics, the arts, pop culture, everything all in one in these floor routines. And that's usually something that always gets the crowd going. So we'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we will have TWU on vault, Florida on bars, Arizona State on beam, and Fisk taking on the floor. We welcome you back into Kitty Winter McGee Arena. Big time vault for TWU. Elena Reed gets things started. Team is truly excited to see her. And on beam for the Sun Devils, we have Reese Girola. Had a great showing last week as well.
Beautiful handstand, that handspring that step out.
Reese also spent some time going to school in Canada before she made her way over to Tempe, Arizona.
Looking really solid. Looks very comfortable settling into the beam here. Cat jump to aerial, just a little bit off. Managed to stay on the beam. The leadoff position on beam is always hardest, especially when you start off the meet on beam in a quad meet like this. Cartwheel, swing through the full dismount.
Great job there to start off the beam for the Sun Devils. Going over to floor for Fisk University. Kennedy Johnson on the floor with a Beyonce-themed routine tonight. Her first year at Fisk University from South Carolina.
There's a 2.5 to front tuck. Makes it look very easy.
Jordan Luke on vault for TWU. Very solid vault there as Kennedy Johnson finishes off her floor routine for Fisk.
And that vault, you have to take a second look at it because it's not just a normal Yurchenko. It's actually a full twist onto the vault table before a pike off.
Adele Osei up on beam for the Sun Devils.
This is Anya Pilgrim on bars.
Very solid bar routine so far. She's been pretty consistent on the bars this year with the season high 9.975. Pretty solid dismount there. Stepped back just a tad. So will be a slight deduction on the dismount there, but nothing too much again. Her high score on bars, 9.975. Juliana Baker, a great addition to this TWU squad this year. Definitely a vault to feel confident about.
Back on beam, a little wobble on that aerial, maybe a balance check. And another wobble on that double sag.
OC is new to the Sun Devil squad as she is a 5'4" freshman from New Jersey, actually homeschooled, but that's something that's pretty common in gymnastics because gymnastics is not offered at a lot of high schools. So in order to balance both, a lot of times gymnasts are homeschooled.
Pike gainer dismount.
Another Beyonce-themed routine for Fisk. Aaliyah Reed Hammond. She's a senior this year for Fisk from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Big time bar routine from Sky Blakely. She is such a get for this Florida squad. Career high 9.95 for Sky, so looking to see if that performance will live up to the hype. Definitely see why it will.
Great vault for Maddie Murphy on vault.
Murphy's career high on vault, 9.825 in March 2024. Sophia L. Maman on beam. She's also a new addition to the Sun Devil squad. Had a great showing last week here in Denton. She's showing exactly why.
Beautiful aerial to lay out step out.
Last week, the Sun Devils published a big Black History feature on Sophia that is now live on their website to get a little bit more information about the gymnast.
Stuck dismount. That's really what ASU needed here on beam. She moved just smoothly, confidently through that routine.
Yeah, she really saw she took her time and especially used that choreography in between her skills to really take a breath and lock in on that last pass. Going back over to vault for the Pioneers, Kylie Gunbari. Last year, she anchored vault for the squad one time, and now she has gotten a steady rotation in.
A lot of power on that double pike.
Ali Berkeley, who has scored pretty high on the floor this year for Fisk. Senior from Memphis, Tennessee. Kylie Gunbari up on vault.
Beautiful fall. You love to see those open hips. Luchenko full. Step on the dismount, on the landing, but otherwise great.
Kylie always has very, very entertaining celebrations at the end of her routines. Back over to beam. Caroline Lichman in her senior year with the Sun Devils. Taking her time, not rushing through anything, realizing all eyes on her, taking a moment to really breathe. On the dismount there, landed with her chest a little ahead of her feet, so that's usually when you see that step forward just to kind of get back balance. But overall, great routine from Caroline. For Florida, Selena Harris Miranda just wrapped up on bars. And we have Sophia Isabel hitting the vault for Pioneers.
Huge 1.5 vault. Just a small hop. That's going to go big. And Selena on bars was a huge routine. She fought so hard for the dismount, really going for that stick. Had a slight hop forward, but otherwise that's gonna be big.
Sanaya Rosby on floor for Fisk. Paying ode to her sorority in this Chris Brown themed song. Having a little bit of fun with her routine there. Couple of viral TikTok moves mixed in there, so she's definitely having a good time.
This is Riley McCusker on bars. This is definitely a treat to watch. Riley is known for her bars.
Kayla Lee on beam. Last week, she won the beam event out of the quad meet with a score of 9.875. She is Arizona homegrown from Scottsdale, Arizona, so ended up going to school about 20 minutes down the road at Tempe, Arizona. Kimberly Smith up next on beam for the Sun Devils. Had a big performance last week. Came up big all around. Not the dismount Florida would like on bars, a little bit of a stumble, but they have a lot to build on. On the floor, Zyla Coleman. Her floor routine, again, is inspired by the world phenom movie Sinners. Took a lot of awards home during this last award season.
Fortunately, that last routine on bars was an exhibition spot by Lily Bruce, so it doesn't count to the final score and was a great routine, just a little timing off on that dismount.
Yeah, again, for those at home, the expedition spot is usually open just to get the routine in front of judges and to get the gymnasts used to performing in front of a crowd and just as a building block to really just have a great rest of the season. Zyla Coleman, a little bit of a stumble out of that last tumbling pass. Very dedicated to the choreography and telling the story throughout her routine as well. Back on beam here with Kimberly Smith, senior Sun Devil. Had the pleasure of seeing her perform last week in our quad meet.
Standing layup, step out, split jump. Great job keeping that connection. If the arms stop moving, then it is a broken connection, but it looked to me like they were moving the whole time. great dismount. Way to end the beam lineup. They had a few wobbles towards the beginning, but the second half of the lineup really picked it up.
Kylie Broomley will be in the expedition spot for the Sun Devils in beam. In the meantime, we will get you some scores going. On vault for TW, Elena Reed, 9.75. Juliana Baker, 9.725. Maddie Murphy, 9.725. Kylie Gambari, 9.8. And Sophia Isabel, 9.85. Some Florida bar scores for you. Frazier, 9.925. Pilgrim, 9.825. Sky Blakely, 9.975. Big time score for Sky here. DeCello, 9.925. And McCusker, 9.95. A big time rotation for the Gators. Now back to the Sun Devils on beam. OC 9.6, Elma Mann 9.825, Lichman 9.7, Lee 9.85, and as we just saw, Kimberly Smith just finish. Her score comes in at 9.85. Some Fisk floor scores for you all at home. Johnson 9.625, Reed Hammond 9.575, Berkeley 9.75, Rosby 9.7, and Zyla Coleman in her centers routine 9.775. Ayanna Thomas on floor for Fisk, sophomore from California. And that will do it for floor for Fisk University. And that wraps up our first rotation. Bars final score for Florida, 49.6. Sun Devils on beam, 48.875. TWU Pioneers, 48.85 on vault. And Fisk on floor, 48.425. So after our first rotation, we have the Florida Gators in first, Arizona State in second, TWU in third, and Fisk coming right behind in fourth. But it's still anyone's game as we move along. We still have 3 more rotations for you, and we will take a quick break. But when we come back, we will have the second rotation. Fisk will be on vault, TWU will be on bars. Florida will have their chance at the beam, and Arizona State will keep the party going on floor. We'll be right back after the break. We welcome you back into Kitty Winter McGee Arena, where we have a super fun quad meet tonight in Denton, Texas. We have Fisk University, Arizona State, our host, Texas Women's University, and the Florida Gators are in the house. Regardless if you see them, if you don't see them, you'll definitely hear them. They have a packed bleacher tonight. Daisy, from that first rotation, I guess we just start off with Florida on bars. Sky Blakely had her big night tonight, 9.975. In general, what stands out to you the most about this Florida squad?
Well, the fact that they had to drop, 9.85 for their lowest score says a lot. I mean, 49.6, that's only missing 4 tenths total on the whole squad. And so last week they We're at 197.5, I believe, and have consistently been above 197, and so we'll see how they go this week.
Yeah.
They could break 198 or not.
For sure. Arizona State just finished up on beam. Last week they had 48.90 on beam. This time around 48.875, so right around that same range. So that's kind of been the same amount of consistency we've been seeing this year from the Gators. To start us off, we have Bailey Bourgeois on floor. Actually, excuse me.
We have Bailey Bourgeois up on bars next. Currently on floor, we have Kayla Lee from ASU.
Florida starting off very strong on beam in the second rotation. Skylar DeRacer.
Beam is really about the small details. So not just staying on the beam, not falling, wobbling, but all things like artistry from the tip of the fingers all the way to the point of the toes, looking for amplitude on your leaps and jumps and series, all in the fine details that those judges look for. Love the fight for that stick on the dismount. Really great lead off routine.
Yeah, excited to see how that beam routine continues to build for her this year. Nearly perfect, just a little bit off on the dismount, but really fought again for that steady landing. Up next, Alyssa Arena on beam for Florida. Fisk on bars, Fisk on vault, Kennedy Johnson just finished up. Bailey Bourgeois taking another go at her bar routine after taking a slight fall, but again takes a lot of courage and confidence to get back on the bar to finish out.
Great bail handstand. Pull-in dismount.
Again, kudos to Bailey Bourgeois for sticking it through and taking another go at her routine.
For an aerial.
Oops, sorry, go ahead, Daisy.
I love the open posture, the chin up. It really just displays how confident and how controlled you are on the beam.
Yeah, including her ability to maintain eye contact with the judges as well, while also keeping her balance on the beam.
Great routine for Florida.
As you can tell by coaches' reaction, audience reaction, that was surely one for the books through and through. A great beam routine there. Skylar DeRacer, 9.975, a big beam score for the Gators. Back on floor with the Sun Devils. Haley Barflat.
Opened with a punch front through to double tuck. Cami Zarlingo on bars. Pike Yeager.
Sky Blakely on beam for Florida.
Great job to Cami picking it up, keeping that bar rotation going.
Blakely career high 9.725 on beam. Again, from Frisco, Texas, about an hour away from Denton. So know she has a lot of supporters in the house.
Beautiful lead. She goes just about above 180 on that split.
Took second place on beam at the Infinity U.S. Championships as well.
That is a wolf jump. Beautiful open hips on that, great amplitude, and of course the stick. She loves it.
Super excited for her, and just shows you why she's been named to the U.S. Senior National Team 5 times consecutively. Score in for the Gators on beam for Arena, 9.925. TW bar scores, Cami Zarlingo, 9.675. Bailey Bouchouage again took a slight fall, but kudos to her for finishing, 9.050. A big 10 has just come in for Sky Blakely, her first 10 of her collegiate career. Sky Blakely has just received a 10 on beam, and again, that just shows how all of that national competition and really just locking in on yourself can take you so much further. So congratulations to Sky Blakely, the first 10 of the night and the first 10 of her collegiate career. 10 for Sky Blakely on beam. Congratulations to her.
Kylie Bromley on Fuller. Way to fight for that landing. Little short, but really sold it well.
As you'll notice, Frazier and DeRacer both trained together growing up in the New York and New Jersey area. Uses a lot of core strength to make sure she doesn't fall off the beam there.
Beautiful jump series.
You can tell Frazier really zeroes in on her technique no matter how small or big the move is.
Elena Reed on bars.
She had a big performance last week and had a flawless dismount. Gators still celebrating Sky Blakely's 10. Coach is super excited for her. Another flawless dismount for Elena Reed. Almost mirrors last week's routine as well. Just the consistency that she's building, really excited for her.
Comes through the double tuck. Slid that front foot on the landing, which will be deduction.
Haley Georgery on floor for the Sun Devils. She's been very consistent on floor this year, which also explains her positioning in the rotation and in the lineup for this event. Reed Hammond on vault for Fisk.
Really great Tenko full, stuck that landing. Little tugs on that full, but great landing.
You can see how excited she is. Kayla DiCello on beam for the Gators. Did majority of her training at Hills Gymnastics, coming all the way from Maryland. Florida does a really good job recruiting in Maryland as well. Great eye contact there with the judges. Such beautiful lines there.
Really hard to find any deduction for this Florida lineup.
Caroline Pounds on bars for the Pioneers. Really locks in to nail the dismount. And another nailed dismount here in front of us on beam for DiCello.
If you missed it on bars, Caroline just cast it over on that handstand on the high bar. It will be a fall, but she finished the routine well.
Allie Berkeley on vault for Fisk. A little bit of a hop there on the dismount.
Front handspring double full to front tuck.
Delaney Kelly, a freshman making her way already into this rotation for the Sun Devils, had a great 2-year stint before joining the Sun Devils, which also shows why she's able to fit right into the rotation early on. Selena Harris Miranda on beam for the Gators. She just scored a 10 on beam on March 14th.
Good save on that handspring, that step out back handspring. Had a lot of backwards momentum, but she stayed tight, stayed on the beam.
Selena's accomplishments so far as a college gymnast just go on and on. All SEC Pac-12 Gymnast of the Year in 2024. 2023 Pac-12 Freshman of the Year. She spent a little bit of her college career at UCLA, as well as 2025 SEC Newcomer of the Year. So a long list of accolades already, and she's not even done her college career.
Down about 1.5, stuck it well. That is a big beam lineup for Florida. Right now, without that last score coming in, their lowest score is a 9.875.
Yeah, and just the fact that their beam lineup is so strong, and just to really, as a coach, just to feel so comfortable that you nailed it already going in, and to just have just unique scores back to back to back on beam is really hard to do. For the Gator, Frazier is 9.875. DeCello, 9.95. Kimberly Smith on floor for the Sun Devils.
Opened with a really beautiful double pike, landing chest completely up. She's truly on a baker on bars. Didn't quite get that pike Jaeger. This is an exhibition spot though.
Anaya Pilgrim with a very unique start to her beam routine. Career high on beam is a 9.975. So back-to-back-to-back high scores, high potential on this beam group. Loses her balance a little bit, gets right back on beam to finish out. Will be a deduction there. But again, kudos for her for finishing out her routine.
Fortunately, this is also an exhibition spot for Florida with Anya Pilgrim. Great discount.
And for that to be your expedition spot just showed you how good the lineup is from top to bottom. I'm sure it's very hard putting together what this rotation / event will look like for the Gators. Lilia Perler up next for the Sun Devils on floor. Selena Harris Miranda, 9.975 on beam for the Gators.
Florida just went 49.8 on beam, which is absolutely amazing for them.
Pioneers on bars, Elena Reed, 9.775. Brooke Ferrari, 9.85.
Definitely not the bar rotation that TW wanted. Last week they went 48.95 on bars. We'll see how they can pick it up on beam and floor.
Have a lot of ladies from the women's basketball team with the Pioneers here to support the team tonight. They also have a big game tomorrow.
Tomorrow is senior night for women's basketball, and next Friday will be senior night for women's gymnastics.
Vault scores for Fisk: Johnson 9.625, Reed Hammond 9.575, Berkeley 9.75, Rossby 9.7, and Zaya Coleman 9.775. So this will end rotation 2. We have another half of gymnastics coming up for you with rotation 3 and rotation 4. To give a round robin roundup for you all at home, right now Florida currently in first place, 99.4. Arizona State at a solid 98. Pioneers 96.725. And Fisk 96.275. So still anyone's game. A lot of entertaining gymnastics still left. So make sure you don't move from the screen. And we have another rotation for you after the break. Here at Kitty Winter McGee Arena, we have 2 more rotations of gymnastics for you. And as a reminder at home, we have TWU hosting Fisk, Arizona State, and Florida. In this last rotation on beam, we witnessed Sky Blakely get her first 10 of her collegiate career. And again, we saw a lot of other follow-up great routines on beam from Florida as well. Daisy, from your perspective, why do you think beam just goes so well for Florida?
Well, I just want to highlight again that they scored a 49.8 on beam. That's losing only 2 tenths across all 5 scores that were counted. That's not only a season high for Florida on beam, but that is a season high. If I'm looking at this correct, that's a season high for any team on any event in the nation right now. So they are well on their way to breaking a record tonight. Breaking another record tonight. They already have.
Super exciting night for the Gators already in Denton. And to start off our third rotation tonight, we will have the Pioneers on beam. We have the Sun Devils already to a great start on vault. The Gators will continue the party on floor, and we have Fisk taking on the bars. Sophie Hernandez on beam for the Pioneers.
Great series. Sophie has competed in this leadoff spot since she has been a freshman on the beam. Really consistent for TW here.
One thing about Sophia Hernandez is always is entertaining how she's able to bring in her own personality into beam, which is something that you usually see on the floor.
Great step just now. What they needed right here.
Great start for beam for the Pioneers. Over to the Gators on floor. Up next for the Pioneers, Elena Reed on beam. Another great vault from the Sun Devils. Robin Wilson, a freshman, already making her way into the rotation. 5'3" freshman from Evans, Georgia. Headed to Thomas on bars for Fisk. A little bit of a stumble with her dismount, but overall pretty solid routine to get things started on bars for Fisk. Elena Reed taking on the beam here for the Pioneers. Great performance last week, arguably one of her best performances on beam so far in her collegiate career last week. Interested to see how she builds on that consistency this week. Delaney Kelly on vault for Sun Devils.
Solid series for Elena on beam.
Over to floor with the Gators. Floor has a set of sisters for the Gators, Gabby and Amelia. Amelia just finished up right after her sister. Sister Gabby is the lead off in floor for the Gators.
I'm a little surprised at some of these vault scores. We just saw 9,675 Kelly on vault. She did have a step at the end, but I would have thought it would be a little bit higher.
Perler looks to get this group back on track for vault. For the Sun Devils, Zaya Coleman on bars for Fisk. She nailed her routine in warm-ups. Super strong on the dismount. A little too much momentum on the landing. Sophia Stefan starting off on beam for the Pioneers. She stayed up there. It will only be a slight deduction for the wobble, but other than that,
easily could have been a fall. Also fought on that series. She's not giving up. Switch.
Danny Ferris on the floor for the Gators.
Stuck that dismount.
Great comeback for Sophia Stefan for sure after that slight, almost could have been a fall at the beginning, but I think almost her saving herself on the beam really just gave her the confidence that she needed to know that she could stick the rest of the routine. So great job for her. A great vault from Kimberly Smith and the Sun Devils.
That was huge essential fall. Flared the hips even on the end, stuck, landing. That should go big.
Last meet, Kimberly Smith scored a 9.85. She was the vault winner of the last meet here at TWU. Some vault scores for the Sun Devils. Elma Mann, 9.775. Wilson, 9.725. Delaney Kelly, 9.675. And Perler, which we just saw finish up, 9.9. Really interested to see what Kimberly Smith's score comes in on vault. Nearly flawless routine. Over on beam, Kylie Gunbari. She's been a fiery force for the Pioneers since joining this team as a freshman. Has one of my favorite floor routines as well. Magnificent save there on the beam.
The switch side beat. Beautiful series. Love how she really held that landing position. Great punch front.
Again, Kylie's only a sophomore. Can't wait to see how she grows within the Pioneer program as well. What a routine from Kylie. A great dismount. I always love Kylie's celebrations no matter what the event is. Vault, beam, floor. Her reaction always lives up to the hype. Imaje Frazier on the floor for the Gators.
She opened with a beautiful double layout.
She's over halfway through her routine. Such high energy throughout the whole thing. Great job there for Frazier. Up next will be Jayla Booker on floor for the Gators.
Arizona State has had some huge vaults. Really big amplitude, controlling the landings, tight in the air. It's a strong event for them.
Ruby Gold on beam for the Pioneers.
Ruby's definitely grown in her confidence on this event. She's been a consistent competitor in the singing lineup this season.
For sure, in her senior year. Career high on beam, 9.85 against Oklahoma. Great save there. When she's performing, she always has a sense of pageantry. When she is doing her routine, just makes you want to watch every move.
TW's been killing the dismount landing.
Fun to see some personality there with the celebration. Going back over to Florida on floor.
Big full end to open up this routine.
Jayla Booker really owning her space on the floor. Finding moments within the choreography to lock eyes with the judges.
If you haven't noticed already, Florida puts a gator chomp in every routine.
Florida's set of sisters started the night off for them on floor 9.9 and 9.725. Ferris 9.925. Frazier 9.9. Sophia Isabel up next on beam for the Pioneers.
Sophia Isbell in this anchor spot for TW on beam. Really need her to hit here so they can drop a 9.55.
Kylie Gambari 9.775 on beam. Taylor Clark in the anchor position on floor for the Gators. Sophia Isabel had a great performance last week on beam as well.
Triple series. Handspring left, step out, left, step out.
Beautiful job for Sophia Isabel.
Did exactly what she needed to in that anchor spot.
Back to Taylor Clark on floor.
She has some huge tumbling passes. Lots of power and amplitude.
Only a sophomore and already managed to get that anchor spot on the roster. Career high 9.95 on March 14th.
And that is a 9.9 for Sophia Isbell on beam.
On floor for Frazier, 9.9. Booker, 9.85 for the Gators. Anaya Pilgrim will be in the expedition spot again for Gators. Just saw her perform on beam in the last rotation. Florida really looking to build her up into getting into those rotation spots in the all-around. Definitely can see a lot of potential there for the Gators in years come with having Pilgrim on their squad.
She is in the vault and bars lineup and then exhibition beam and floor tonight. So definitely getting that all-around practice. A little short, it's a half in, half out. Floor is all about controlling power. It's hard not to go too big, but also not go too small.
Hadassah Diggs on bars, just finished up for Fisk. Last tumbling pass for Pilgrim right here.
Front through to double check. A little short on that one, too.
Score in for Taylor Clark, 9.85 for the Gators. Their top score on floor this evening was Ferris, 9.925. This concludes our third rotation, and we're already making our way into the fourth rotation. Going into the fourth rotation in this order, we have Florida, Arizona State, TWU, and Fisk. We have a lot more gymnastics coming for you in the last rotation, as we are super excited to see Florida on vault, as that has been a very consistent event for them as well. And the Pioneers look to close the house down in floor with a lot of excitement coming behind their floor routines. We have a lot in store coming in the fourth rotation. We have our fourth and final rotation here tonight at Kitty Winter McGee Arena in this jam-packed, exciting meet that we have tonight, quad meet that we have for you all with TWU as they host Arizona State, Florida, and Fisk University. To finish out our rotations here tonight, we will have Florida on vault, Arizona State on bars, beam will have Fisk, and last but not least, TWU will take on floor and close the party out for the night. And that last rotation, I know one, in rotation 2, we were really impressed by the beam rotation for Florida. From that last rotation, the third one of the night, which event kind of stuck out to you the most?
Well, it's hard to not say Florida on floor. They just have so much power and big tumbling. But I really loved Arizona State's vaults. They were huge. They had open hits on their landings and really controlled landings.
For floor, for the Pioneers, really just so excited to see how these routines have grown from last year to this year. For those at home, usually each gymnast that competes on floor gets a new routine every 2 years. So a lot of times, last year was the gymnast's first year with the routine. So to see them do the routine last year compared to this year really just shows how they have grown into the choreography and into the passes. Reed Hammond on beam for Fisk. Cami Zarlingo having a great time on floor with the Pioneers.
It's really fun to see how each floor routine really does fit each person's personality. It was a strong start off routine for the floor. Great beam routine for Fisk as well. Series was a back handspring through to side aerial.
Skylar DeRazer up on vault for Florida.
Huge 1.5 to set it down. 1.5 is a blind landing, so you come around and you just have to feel and know where the floor is. You don't see it before you actually land. So it's one that you don't want to overcook, but you can't underdo either.
Very aggressive vault to start off Florida's last rotation. Great routine for the Sun Devils on bars. Sophia Pratt will be up next on beam for Fisk. Some judging here, making sure the judges get the scores right as these gymnasts work so hard to prepare for these meets. So definitely appreciate the judges for trying to get the scores here correct tonight.
One thing we've mentioned in the past is this year's NCAA nationals and regionals the qualification system is different than in years past. Still the top 36 teams are going, but to get there, the NQS, the national qualifying score, is calculated differently. So now it's based more on an average of the entire season, which can be good if you're a consistent team. Seiko 1.5 on vault.
Florida not having the best start to their vault rotation, but it will for sure slowly graduate for them.
That was Anya Pilgrim. The first vault set it down. Second vault was just too much power.
Last week, we saw freshman Autumn Mickens in the expedition spot. This week, she's in the rotation. She's a freshman making her way already, pre-nursing major from Kansas City. So super exciting for her to make her way into the rotation just after 1 week of spending it in the expedition spot. In 2021, she claimed the regional floor championship title.
1.5 front layout. Timing on the 1.5 can be hard. Really got to be patient for the floor. Huge double pike though. Love the landing with the chest completely up.
Great rotation debut for Autumn Mickens, really just taking what she's learned over these past couple of weeks at this expedition spot, really taking that feedback to heart, and you can just see how powerful that routine was. A lot of Sophias in the building tonight. We have a Sophia for Fisk, a couple of Sophias on the Pioneers, but right now it's all about Sophia Pratt on beam.
Arizona State is having a great bar rotation right now. And that was the vault that Florida needed. Yurchenko 1.5. Small step or hop forward.
Reed Hammond's score for beam for Fisk, 9.8. Sophia Stefan's music always makes me want to just get up and dance. So exciting, perfectly matches her personality as well.
Opening with a front handspring front double full.
Allie Berkeley getting ready for beam for Fisk. Broomley on bars for the Sun Devils. Missed her connection a little bit. She'll have to start her routine over. But again, like we always say, always commend gymnasts when they're able to start again. Takes a lot of courage to go through with their routine a second time. Broomley back up and running. Lands her dismount the second time around. Again, kudos to her for trying again. Allie Berkeley here on beam for Fisk.
Beautiful flight series there.
Really the beam performance and momentum that Fisk needs at the moment.
A pike front toss to beat jump.
Great dismount for Berkeley there. Sophia Hernandez really getting the crowd going for her routine as well. And one thing about Sophia that she always does amazingly is her facials. Really performs from her face all the way down to the tip of her toe every time she performs this routine. Big time vault for Taylor Clark in the Gators.
That was a front handspring, front pike half off.
Sophia Hernandez always having so much fun on the floor. Routine, and it just shows off in every moment. She's ready. She's able to have fun, still be energetic, but still make sure she's placing her moves and being sharp through and through. Cami Zarlingo, 9.75 on the floor. Autumn Mickens, 9.65, her first time in the rotation this year. A great showing from her.
That is a wolf turn on beam, you see. back handspring. Looks like she cut that connection.
Rosby able to catch herself from falling there.
I'd like to see that back leg up a little bit on that split jump, but the switch leap is great.
Nice dismount for Rosby. A little bit of an all-around scoring for Fisk. Kennedy Johnson, 9.525. Reed Harmon, 9.575. Berkeley, 9.75. Rosby, 9.7. And Coleman, 9.775.
Kylie Gambari on the floor, opening with a round-off double pike. She always has great chest on her landings. Always perfectly aligned with her feet.
This routine was great last year. It's even better this year.
Beautiful full front layout.
Great pass there from Kylie.
And a huge round-off double tuck. Her foot stayed in place on that landing and chest was up. Huge amplitude.
Sophia Hernandez, 9.8 on the floor for the Pioneers. Hadassa Diggs on beam for Fisk.
Arizona State has been having some great bars. Very tight in all the positions, hitting those handstands, really going big for those dismounts. Definitely making improvements from this past Sunday.
Florida has finished up their last rotation on vault, so they're all done. All they have to do is wait for the scores now.
Huge double tuck from Sophia Isbell.
Amazing height on that pass there for Isabel.
She definitely brings the power on all of her events, floor, beam, and vault. She also brings the sass.
Diggs really tried hard to save that from a fall, slight fall off the beam. Was able to nail the dismount though. Kennedy Johnson will be in the final spot for beam. Sophia Isabel on fire tonight.
That is what they needed to do on floor right there.
Kylie Gambari, 9.825 for the Pioneers. Just waiting to see Sophia Isabel's score come in.
And that's not exactly what TW wanted to do on bars and beam, but they really picked it up and finished meet strong with floor.
Kennedy Johnson taking her time on beam, really using the choreography in between to catch her breath, to ease nerves as well.
9.875 for Sophia Isbell on floor. Beautiful back handspring that step out through the beat jump. I believe that was connected. Kept the arms moving.
Kennedy Johnson truly showing why she's in this anchor spot for Fisk. Hop at the end on the dismount. Really took her time during the beam sequence. And with the end of the beam rotation, that ends all rotations tonight. Just waiting on Kennedy Johnson's score to come in. Everybody else's score is in as we are waiting for all of the judges to finish tallying up everything before we are too quick to call a winner. We're going to take a quick break, and when we're back, we will read off the event high scores as well as who has won our quad meet tonight in Denton.